She had never imagined one tiny mistake could flip her entire life upside down, but that was exactly what happened to Emily, a hardworking assistant living in a small city apartment. She was the type of woman who believed in being careful, who always double-checked her work emails and read every message twice before pressing send. But even the most careful people slip once, and sometimes that slip happens at the very worst possible moment. It had been a long day at the office. Emily's boss was out of town, which meant she was filling in for 3 different people at once. By the time she got home, her feet ached, her mind felt like mush, and her phone was buzzing non-stop with reminders of tomorrow's meetings. She collapsed onto her couch, dropped her bag onto the floor, and pulled out her phone to text her best friend. The two of them often joked late at night, sharing memes, secrets, and sometimes outrageous messages to make each other laugh. Her friend had just texted her, teasing her about how she never let loose, never flirted with anyone, never even tried dating. "Come on, Em," her friend wrote, "when are you going to stop working like a robot and actually be a woman?" Laughing, Emily typed a silly, slightly dirty reply, something she would never say out loud, something about what she would do if she ever got her hands on a powerful, rich man. She giggled at the words, not even meaning them seriously. And then it happened. Her tired eyes clicked the wrong contact. Instead of sending the text to her best friend, the message shot off straight into the inbox of the most intimidating man she knew, Alexander Grant, the billionaire CEO of the company where she worked. For a few seconds, she didn't even realize what she had done. She put her phone aside, stretched her arms, and sighed. Then the screen lit up. The name made her blood freeze. Mr. Grant. Her eyes widened as she scrolled up to the message she had just sent, her face burning hot, her heart hammering so loudly she could barely breathe. "No, no, no, no," she whispered, pacing the room in panic. Of all the people in the world, why him? Why her boss, the man known for being cold, strict, and untouchable? Everyone at the company feared him. He was the kind of man who could fire someone with a single look, who walked into a room and made even the most confident managers stumble over their words. He was powerful, brilliant, and completely out of her league in every possible way. And now he had read that. She considered quitting on the spot, packing her things, and running away. Maybe she could change her number, move to another city, and start fresh somewhere no one knew her. She was still lost in panic when her phone buzzed again. One new message. Her trembling hands unlocked the screen. It wasn't anger. It wasn't scolding. It wasn't a warning about professionalism or company policy. It was just 3 words. "We need to talk." Emily nearly dropped the phone. Her breath came out shallow, and her mind ran wild. What did that mean? Was he furious? Was he going to drag her into his office tomorrow and humiliate her in front of everyone? Or was he amused? Did he find it funny? Her chest tightened with dread, and she hardly slept a wink that night. The next morning at work, every second felt like torture. Her hands shook as she brewed coffee, her eyes darting to the elevator every time it dinged. And then he appeared. Tall, sharp-suited, with an aura that silenced the entire floor the moment he stepped out. His eyes, cold and calculating, landed on her instantly. "Miss Carter," he said in that deep, commanding voice. "My office. Now." She swallowed hard, clutching her notebook as if it could shield her. Inside his office, the door clicked shut behind her. She stood frozen, while he leaned against his desk, studying her like a puzzle he intended to solve. "Do you make a habit of sending such colorful messages to your employer?" he asked smoothly. Her knees nearly gave out. I'm so sorry, sir. It was a mistake. I swear it wasn't meant for you. I'd never." "Never what?" His lips curved, not quite a smile, but not anger either. "Never imagine me that way. Never think about what a man like me might do to you." Her jaw dropped. Heat rushed to her cheeks. "That's not, I didn't." He stepped closer, and she realized just how tall he was, how his presence filled every corner of the room. "Do you know what I expected when I saw your name pop up with that message?" he asked softly. "I expected professionalism, efficiency, the neat reports you always send me." But instead, his eyes darkened, and his voice dropped lower. "Instead, I saw a side of you I never imagined." She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Her heart beat so fast she thought he could hear it. "Relax," he finally said, stepping back just enough to give her space. I'm not firing you. If anything, he paused, tilting his head. I'm curious. That single word shook her more than anger ever could. Curious. What did that mean? She left his office trembling, unsure if she had just saved her job or stepped into something far more dangerous. Over the next few days, his behavior changed. Subtly, but enough for her to notice. He lingered longer in conversations, his eyes held hers just a second too long, and once, when they brushed past each other in the hallway, she could have sworn she felt his hand graze hers deliberately. The more he looked at her, the more she realized her silly, mistaken message had unlocked something neither of them could ignore. Late one evening, when most of the office had cleared out, he appeared at her desk. Still working? He asked, his tone softer than usual. Yes, she murmured, her fingers frozen on the keyboard. Good, he said, though his eyes weren't on the screen. Come with me. She hesitated but followed him into the empty conference room. Rain lashed against the tall glass windows. The city lights glowed in the distance. He stood close, his voice lower than ever. You know, he said slowly, most people are terrified of me. They only see the title, the money, the power. But you, he leaned closer, and her breath caught. You accidentally showed me that you don't see me as untouchable. You see me as a man. Her heart thundered. She didn't know what to say, what to do. And then he whispered, and now I can't stop thinking about it. That night, everything changed. What began as an embarrassing mistake turned into a secret connection neither of them expected. Behind the closed doors of his empire, away from the eyes of the world, the billionaire CEO and the assistant who had sent one accidental text discovered something far more dangerous, and far more irresistible, than either of them had planned. Because sometimes, one wrong message leads to exactly the right story.